Guys, it's a long awaited return of the incomparable Coach James Gogue. Boy, and he's going to share his opinion on Anthony Joshua. Can he come back at age 34 from that brutal knockout? All of this and much, much more on the latest edition of Big Fight Review with Coach James Gogue. Holdings proudly presents Warwick Radio with 5-decade fight trainer, Coach James Gogue. Guys, I tell you what, it's Sunday. It's a special day, guys. And I tell you what, it's very, very special. Not because my Cowboys have been stinking out the joint and lost 2 straight. No. But we just saw heavyweight thunder yesterday in front of a record 98,000 fans at Wembley Stadium. And boy, the earth did shake. And not in a good way for a lot of fans. Guys, to get the thoughts of the maestro, the incomparable, James Gogue. James, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, Joe, I'm doing good. Been off for a while. There hasn't been no, big fights in boxing. It's football season now. And that pretty much, is king. Everything else, was put on the shelf. So, they had that big fight in England yesterday. Great crowd, 98,000 people, almost 100,000. Oh, like I always said on the show, English fans are the best pound for pound fans in boxing. Enthusiastic, passionate, knowledgeable, willing, to, open up their wallets, pay the money. They don't have a problem paying for tickets and everything. And you've seen it last night. The support both these guys got. Tremendous atmosphere, tremendous crowd, tremendous promotion, everything about it. It was, it's the stuff the United States is missing right now. You know what I mean? It's United States boxing in the U.S. is pretty much a fucking joke, to tell you the truth. It's over there in England. It's mainstream, because it's on TV all the time. It's the second most popular sport next to soccer. Boxing is in America, it's like at the low end of the totem pole. It doesn't. Only one big promoter has TV days, has top rank. Everybody else, they got streaming services. Man, yeah, that's how far boxing is. Sunk in the United States. But that fight was it was good. It was good. Yeah, Dubois, them losses he had made him a more determined, a meaner, more physical, more aggressive, more resilient fighter. And his mentality changed from that Joe Joyce loss. Frank Warren, he has a history of developing his guys soft. He that's what he did with Dubois coming up, man. He put him on, with a lot of soft opposition coming up where he never had to, dig down deep, to test his character. He got it tested in the Joyce fight and he quit like a dog, and that's when I started questioning him. You know what I mean? He ain't got it, but he grew from them losses, mentally, spiritually. He got his mind right. He started behaving like a professional fighter when he fought Usyk, when he fought Baby Miller, and Ergovich. Did he fight? Yeah,
Yep.
Ergovich.
Philip Ergovich. Yep.
Yeah, he grew from them fights. Them are the type of that's the type of seasoning he needed to excuse me, grow as a fighter. And you saw it in the Joshua fight. He was focused. He was hungry. He was a predator on on the what do you call it? Searching for prey. Okay, he was hungry. He wanted to eat, and that left jab of his was the key. That
Mm,
stiff, pulverizing, consistent left jab was the key. Controlled the tempo of the fight. Uh, got him hit less. It set up his offense and dictated, like I said, not only the tempo, it dictated the pace and whatever he wanted to do and whatever he wanted to do offensively. It was that left jab. You know, the importance of the left jab, boxing's number one weapon, is understood by few. It's the number one weapon in boxing. And if a big guy like a big heavyweight like Dubois, who's heavy handed, if he can establish that polarizing, if he established that pulverizing stiff jab like he did last night, Joshua had no answer for it. He kept on getting hit by it. It was slowly breaking him down. Okay. He had no answer for it. He couldn't neutralize that jab. He couldn't counter that jab. He was unprepared to handle it. And Dubois was, single jabs, double jabs. Okay. Putting it in his face, just breaking Joshua down. And that pretty much set the tone for his other offensive weapons he wanted to use on Joshua. And Joshua, his defensive deficiencies, it showed in the fight again. You know what I mean? And he's a flawed fighter, Joe. He's a flawed fighter,
mm,
and they haven't corrected. They haven't corrected all those flaws and everything, man. You know what I mean? But
yep.
Dubois, yeah, he just basic fundamentals he used in the fight. Starting with that jab that broke him down, and the consistency he did. And it was, yeah, man, like, hey, he's the man in England now. He's a champion in England. Okay,
Hmm.
Tyson Fury ain't no champion no more. Joshua was not a champion no more, so he's the man in England right now at only 27 years old. He's got a lot. He's got a lot. What do you call it? He's got a lot of. He's got a high ceiling ahead of him. Okay, and
Hmm.
that he could get that fight with Fury. That would be huge too. That would be another 100,000 fans. The rematch with Joshua would probably do good if Joshua decides to fight again. That rematch with Usyk, you know what I mean? There's some big paydays for this kid. This kid can make some money and everything. And Frank Warren, you gotta what do you call it? Give him credit too for bringing back Joshua. I mean, bringing back Dubois. After that dreadful loss at Joyce, he brought him back. He resurrected his career. He built this kid into the monster that he should have been. It changed his mentality. Okay, of being a professional fighter and everything. He was soft uh, before the Joyce fight. After the Joyce fight, he got seasoned. He got hardened. He got battle. What do you call it? Battle hardened and battle seasoned after those fights. But hey, now he's gonna make some money, man. You know what I mean? That boy. I'm pretty sure. What was his pay for that fight, Joe? The boss. He probably
I'm
got a.
not sure. I haven't heard yet, but I'm going to find out from Thomas Driver this week.
I guarantee it's millions. Oh yeah,
Yep.
man. He's the king of England now. Okay, in the boxing world. Yeah, Daniel Dubois. Yeah, good for him.
Well, look. If I'll be very surprised if he made anything less than $10 million for this event with 100,000, and then it going out on pay per view all around the world. I'll be very shocked if he got anything less than $10 million or
Probably got more than
pounds
that
rather.
because
Well, it's all going to be contingent on how pay per view sales went. But look, they had to make tickets affordable to put in 98,000 fans. But I guarantee you, ringside wasn't cheap.
yeah, it was good. Yeah, great. What a great atmosphere, man. I was like, godly. But I've seen this so many times in England.
Oh
The way
yeah.
they do their shows, the promotion, the theatrics, everything. It's just everything. The build up to the fight. Yeah. The United States used to be like that. Like I said, not no
Yep.
more. England,
Yep.
England is king when it comes to boxing.
Yeah, it's funny. Several weeks ago, you mentioned this whenever I brought this fight up. And I was like, well, what do you think, coach? And you said something very interesting back then. You're like, you know, I get this feeling that a knockout victory over Valine and a knockout victory over Francis Ngannou, I think that may be building a false sense of confidence for this guy because he looked like absolute dog shit leading up to those fights. And you know what? You were right, coach, as usual.
Well, I knew Dubois was battle. I mean, he got better after them losses. Okay, not a lot
Yep.
of people weren't giving him a chance, but I seen that change in that mentality. He,
Mhm.
that fighting spirit. Okay, that gladiator at it. His gladiator mentality he developed, and going into the fight. I say, hey man, a lot of people thought Joshua, he was heavily favored. I said, nah. I told a lot of people, this guy, boy, he's gotten better after those losses. He's tougher, he's meaner, and he's more resilient. Okay. So, like I said, it showed in the fight.
Indeed, it did. Indeed, it did. And you also just said something very interesting, coach, that I want to point out. You said if the rematch would be big, if Anthony Joshua decides to fight again. That's very interesting, coach. What are the chances at age 34? Can he really come back from that kind of vicious knockout loss?
Anybody could come back from a knockout loss. It's how like I said, how do you react and more importantly, how you respond. If he still has that fire in him to get revenge, that hunger in him to get revenge. But I don't know, man. Like I said, the guy is filthy rich. Me,
Yep.
fuck, man. Why, yeah. Why? If you got that kind of money, walk away. You know what I mean?
While
Walk
you still
away.
have your faculties. Yep.
Yeah, walk away.
Yeah.
But
I
we'll
don't I
see.
don't know. I mean, we'll see, guys. Fighters are funny, and fighters never know when to walk away, do they?
Oh hell no, man. Nah, they always think there's another fight, another great fight in them. You know, even
The
when they're past
only
their
two,
prime
yep,
even
the
when they're
only
past their prime and shot. You know what I mean?
yep. The only two I can think of in history who have walked away at the right time was Marvin Hagler and Rocky Marciano.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
All the rest, they've all hung around way too long to where they became shells of themselves. Now look, I want to share this guy with you guys. I was on the phone with Thomas Driver earlier, and he did all of the preliminary bouts at yesterday's card at Wembley Stadium in front of 98,000. And he said, Joe, this would be a lot of fun to put this and use this as your avatar or thumbnail for the show. And remember, guys, he works for Queensberry and Frank Warren. So this is the picture that he sent me, and I use this for the thumbnail for Gogue's show. Here, here I'm gonna reduce your picture for a second.
That pillow.
Oh, it's the My Pillow guy from Minnesota.
Oh, okay, okay.
So, guys, we're gonna keep that up there for the duration of the show because I tell you what, it really freaked out Thomas because he was he was 10 feet away, right behind the zone crew, right? And he said that knockout punch that was delivered, he could feel it, dunk. And then all of a sudden, Anthony Joshua just fell like a sack of potatoes, face first into the canvas.
What did he say about the electricity of the crowd?
He said it was surreal. In fact, he sent me a photo of that. I'm going to put up tomorrow. Um, yeah, he said it was absolutely surreal, and it looked like an endless sea of people from the ring.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it kind of made me feel bad because yesterday I called an amateur show in front of 300 people. And then today I hosted a TMB final press conference in front of about 100 people.
Who's the main event of Who's the main event of that show, Rick?
It's the heavyweights. It's going to be Rudy Ruru Silvas versus I don't remember some gentleman. It's I'm tired and his name eludes me.
A
But
press
somebody,
conference on a press conference on a Sunday.
yeah, it was right in the middle of the Cowboy game. I was kind of pissed.
Yeah,
But look, it's he knew that big fights were going on Saturday, and so he put it on Sunday while everyone had the day off, and it was a good crowd. It was a good crowd. We had over 100 people, so it was
yeah,
nice.
yeah. That's good.
But I will say this though, yeah, Thomas, he's loving all of this, like, and it's well deserved. Guy who's worked in this business for over 35 years, and he came up the hard way. And he's called every event from club shows in front of 50 people. And now he's doing ring announcing in front of 98,000. Couldn't happen to a
Yeah,
nicer guy. So I tell you
unbelievable.
what, congratulations, Thomas. And I tell you what, congratulations, Daniel Dubois. I tell you what,
Yeah.
so if you're Frank Warren, what do you do? Do you sit him out for the rest of the year? Or do you keep him busy and have a nice homecoming, maybe on the co-main event or in the undercard of Tyson Fury versus Alexander Usyk 2 coming up in December? What say you, Gogi?
He ain't no undercard. He's a man in England. You have him showcase a fight over there. Now, Turkey's pretty much going to get behind him. You know what I mean? After that
Absolutely.
exciting knockout. So, you know, you headline him in London. He's hot over there. Keep him hot. Why you want to put him on the undercard? He ain't nobody's undercard. He's his own show now. He's his own franchise after that knockout of AJ. He could be headlining the shows, man. He don't need to be on nobody's undercard. Hell fucking no.
Wow, I tell you what, it's going to be interesting because sometimes it doesn't work like that, Gogi. Now, I'm not talking about in terms of headlining. I'm talking about in terms of winning fans over. He broke a lot of hearts yesterday, coach. Almost reminds me of, do you think it could be a case of like Larry Holmes when he beat up the the mustached version of Muhammad Ali and everyone hated him after that? Do you think it might have that effect with the
Nah,
UK?
Joe, they're gonna love. He's the English fans love their fighters. Okay, whoever's on top, that's who they're gonna support.
So it's
Ain't
not
nah,
like America.
man, they're gonna support that kid, man. I mean, he made a big hit. Okay, he knocked out the man. One of the top fight. Top England got three top heavyweights. He knocked out. What do you call it? One of them. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah.
The only thing is, to beat Tyson Fury, that would be huge. Yeah, that would be huge.
Well, I'll tell you what, Tyson Fury's got to get past on December 21st. He's got to get past Alexander Usyk, try to get his belts back. Because I tell you what, that's not gonna be easy. I don't care
Yeah.
how old or how long in the tooth or how much wear and tear Usyk has. Usyk is a special fighter, Gogi. But what were your primary takeaways from Anthony Joshua getting knocked out by Daniel Dubois? And we'll move on after that.
Like I said, he's a flawed defensive fighter, and when you're fighting a puncher like Dubois, your vulnerabilities are gonna end up coming to fruition. So yeah, I mean, come on, Joe. The way he got hit, he got hit, hands low, that little looping overhand right. His left hand was low. I mean, his defense is terrible. His balance is terrible when he has defense. Okay, his weight's all back. He's all backwards, squared up, hands low, chin out there. Yeah, it's terrible, man. And that right hand he got hit with the final knockdown. He went in there with started attacking Dubois, uh, with his hands low. He threw a right hand. Dubois hit him with the right hand. He didn't make no defensive adjustment, and he went in there, trying to hit him with that lead uppercut, and Dubois just beat him to the punch. Okay, with that right hand and caught him. Now, if he would have used his jab effectively to close that distance, like Dubois was doing, he wouldn't have got hit by that right hand. Dubois he wouldn't have threw that right hand, because if you put a good stiff jab in your opponent's face when you're closing that distance, you what do you call it? You reduce the probability of your opponent hitting you with punches coming in the line of fire. That's why the jab is the number one weapon in boxing. It has so many uses out there, and one of the important uses is when you're putting pressure on your fighter, on your opponent, and you want to limit the incoming. Put that jab in his face, a stiff jab. When you hit him with a good stiff jab, opponent ain't gonna throw no punches. Okay, he's gonna be on the defensive. And that's one thing Joshua didn't do. He just started going right hand crazy without closing that distance, going in there, what do you call it? Defenseless, hands low. But if you would have put that jab in his face, he would have, that jab would have been his defense and everything. But anyway, yeah, shit like that, man. I mean, this is amateur. I mean, this is just basic elementary shit. He should have been practicing in the gym. But like I said, I'm not in the gym. I don't know what the hell they're working on.
Wow, I tell you what, they definitely weren't working on that. And once again, there goes the myth of Ben Davison. Like I said, I think they built like you said, I think they built a false sense of security. With those big victories over Ngannou as well as Valine. But Daniel Dubois is not Otto Valine or Francis Ngannou, and he paid the price.
Yeah.
You live and learn. And so once again, it remains to be seen whether or not Anthony Joshua is going to be able to come back from this. What I saw though, Gogue, and let me ask you what you saw here before we move forward. I don't like the way he reacted from any of those shots. His legs were gone after the first knockdown.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to break his ankle.
Yeah.
Does that look like someone who's maybe on the back nine, maybe a shot fighter? Gogue, what say you?
That's what it looks like to me. When you get hit in the chin, your legs are unsteady. That's a sign of a shot fighter.
Yeah, he didn't look good at all, Gogue. He looked slow. He looked old, and his legs just didn't look good. After that first knockdown, it seemed that it was only a matter of time. And, even when he landed something hard in the fifth round, looked like he was trying to come back. It really didn't do much to deter Dubois. He threw these same lazy right hands 3 in a row, and a la Santa Cruz versus Tank Davis. After the third, boy, he timed it perfectly and just knocked him flat to the canvas.
Yeah.
It's almost like, what the hell is Anthony Joshua been working on?
Yeah. Nothing. By the way he fought yesterday, it looked like they didn't work on nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you what, congratulations to Joshua Buatsi. Surprisingly, even after 2 knockdowns, he gets a split decision victory over Willie Hutchinson and also Anthony Kakachi. Boy, he retains his titles against Josh Warrington, the Warhorse. Josh Kelly wins a majority decision, a stinker over Ishmael Davis, and Hamza Shiraz, boy, in the co-main event, makes light work of Tyler Denny. Boy, Hamza Shiraz at 160 pounds looks awfully good. Coach, did you see any of the prelims?
Nah, I didn't see. I just wanted to watch the main event and everything. I didn't see that Kakashi fight. How did that fight go? They went the distance.
Yeah, and Kakashi just whooped his ass. Warrington looked old, and he announced his retirement shortly thereafter.
Yeah, he was just going for a final payday. That's what I figured. Yeah, I didn't watch. No, I didn't. Buatsi was dropped twice? You saying?
Yep. No. Buatsi dropped Willie Hutchinson twice en route to a surprising split decision victory. I thought it was very easy to score, Coach. He deserved a unanimous decision, but nonetheless, Joshua Buatsi picks up a very impressive victory. Hamza Shiraz looked great. Anthony Kakachi's just rolling along. Tough, gritty guy from Ireland. I tell you what, great card though. Very interesting. Go ahead, sir.
Is Virgil still training Buatsi?
No, he dropped him like a bad habit. Not Virgil. Sugar Hill Stewart.
Sugar Hill's training Buatsi?
He was, and then he dropped him like a bad habit, just like everyone else seems to be.
So who's training Buatsi? It's not Virgil no more, huh?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Yeah, Virgil was training him. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. And then he switched to Sugar Hill Stewart.
I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Jared Anderson. Boy, he dropped Sugar Hill Stewart after one fight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Apparently, that was
Yeah.
enough for him. And yeah, that seems to be a trend. But I'm not going to dog my brother Sugar Hill Stewart. Let's move on to that. But congratulations, guys, to a brilliant promotion. Everyone involved, as well as all fighters involved, and congratulations to the new IBF heavyweight champion, Daniel Dubois. I'll tell you, before we move on and talk, get your thoughts on Canelo and his performance against headed to the finish line, Edgar Berlanga. Let's say hello to our dear friends in the chat. It's been a minute, Coach. Mr. SSP Diving, first one of the queue. Thank you for supporting the coach on this day, brother. And also, my brother Refugio Garcia says Eddie Hearn needs to stay away from every and any Frank Warren Queensberry fighter. Look, this year alone, he's 0-7 against all Frank Warren Queensberry fighters.
Unbelievable.
Yep, sucks to be him. I'll tell you what, Hawker Mustang, welcome to the show, sir. And he says, yeah, coach, most people don't know shit about boxing. Yep. Refugio also says, go ahead, sir. And he goes, funny enough, Frank Warren signed Dubois after Joshua and Dubois sparred. Well, he obviously saw something. Hawker Mustang also says, yeah, AJ with that telegraphed load up uppercut.
Yeah. Do it from the wrong distance.
Mm-hmm.
That's a punch where it's most effective in close quarters, so your opponent doesn't see it. You throw it from long distance. Oh, your opponent sees it, and just like Holyfield when he fought Buster Douglas, that was Buster Douglas' fatal mistake he made in that fight. Threw a uppercut from long range. Holyfield just leaned back and countered with the right hand and became heavyweight champion of the world.
Yep, that was the fight that Ronnie Shields jumped over Buster Douglas while he was still laying on the canvas.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God love it. LPCOG, welcome to the show, sir. Good to see you. Beers to you, my friend. I'm engaging. After a long weekend, I'm enjoying a nice cold Coors Light. How do you like that? G Funky Boxing, welcome to the show, sir. Our brother G Funky. And guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to my brother G Funky. He also says this: the only thing AJ was missing was his Snuggie.
Yeah.
Woo! Boy, I tell you what. Yeah, he was out like a light. The referee didn't even count on that final knockdown. Oof. And my nephew, Tony Manzano from Florida says, Coach, realistically, let's be honest. Do you really think all of his false bravado from AJ was going to make a difference in the fight? Because I didn't. I knew he was going to lose this fight. Did you know he was going to lose, Coach?
You know what? I wasn't even paying attention to the fight. Tell you the truth. I just started, following when the fight started. It's over here in Mexico for free, so I just started to watch it and everything. But I really didn't. I knew before the fight. On Twitter, I mentioned it. Hey, this guy gotten better after those losses. Okay, he's got a different mentality. He's tougher. He's tougher. He's meaner. He's more resilient. Okay, he ain't that little sissy when he fought Joe Joyce. Them losses made him a better fighter, and that's what I said. But I really didn't pay attention. Who was going to win? I just said, hey, man, it's not. Everybody was favoring Joshua. I said, nah. That Dubois has gotten better. It's not a cakewalk for Joshua. Nah. It didn't happen. It happened.
There it is. It happens, especially in the heavyweight division, guys. Anthony Mazzano, he also said, Joe asked the same thing about Canelo. He doesn't need to prove anything. Why not just retire? But you told me that with the amount of money he's making, he's not going to let that go. And that's the hardest part. When you're a big time attraction coach and you're someone like Anthony Joshua who still can attract big dollars, just like Canelo, it's very difficult. And we just talked about that, guys. It's really difficult for these guys to walk away from those big time dollars. To be honest, I think it's going to be a very painful, hard lesson. If Anthony Joshua decides to stick around in this division? Where do you see him going? Who do you see him taking on next, Coach? Coach, you there, sir? Coach, looks
Can you
like
hear
we
me?
lost. Yeah, I can hear you now, sir.
Yeah, like I said, man, Joe, honestly, when you get knocked out like that, you're not as hungry like you were when you were coming up. Man, it's time to get the fuck out of the business, man. But that's between him and Eddie, what they want to do, man. If Eddie can, somehow resurrect his career for one final run and make some money and get the hell out. But why? I'm pretty sure the kid got a lot of money, man. I'm pretty sure he's smart with his money too.
Yeah.
So, why? Get the fuck out, man. That's what you're in this business. Make as much money as you can and leave it with a clean health, clean slate. Where you don't have brain damage, neurological damage. Get the fuck out. It's a dangerous business, man. A dangerous sport.
Yeah. It sure is. It sure is, guys. And El Pinche, I don't know what you're referring to. Damn, he called you Rick. Are you talking to me or Coach? I don't remember him calling me Rick, and I don't think I called Coach Gogue Rick. That's for damn sure.
Nah.
Because Coach Gogue, one, I wasn't referring to Rick Morones, even though I spent all day with him. And two, unlike Rick Glazier, Coach would never eat a ham sandwich live on the air. No, not when he's on the air spending time with you guys. He respects the platform and he respects your time way too much. Thank you, guys. Anthony Manzano also says, Joe, for me, I think it was going to happen after DB after the what? No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that says, but we'll move on. We'll move on. Let's see. Yeah, G Funky says, Coach, legs on Joshua are like a newborn pony. That's not good, is it?
He doesn't have any legs. He lost his equilibrium. Okay, it's shot. Once you damage that equilibrium, okay, you'll never have legs underneath you. As soon as you get hit with you even get touched with a good shot on the chin, your leg is going to be gone because your equilibrium in your brain is destroyed, man. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? That was pretty hard to watch, guys.
Yeah.
So I tell you what, best of luck. Sky's the limit, though. Sky's the limit for Daniel Dubois and Low Clarity. Thank you for joining us. Love the background. Yep. Courtesy of one Thomas Driver. Hawker Mustang also says, Coach, AJ seemed to have underestimated Triple D. He boxed much better versus Usyk, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, sign of a shot fighter. He's not performing to his his max potential. Yeah.
Also, to be fair, I don't remember Usyk throwing those bombs at AJ. Do you?
Nah, Usyk's a very technical, smart fighter. You know what I mean? Takes his time, picks his shots, makes every punch count. You know what I mean? He's a very sophisticated, high skilled, high boxing IQ predator. You know what I mean?
I tell you what, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the path of progress from this point forward for Daniel Dynamite Dubois. But I tell you what, congratulations, great showing. And I tell you what, I love the fact that this kid believed in himself, even when Anthony Joshua was the top billing, even though he was the interim title holder. Anthony Joshua made him come out first. He was announced first. And you know what? He was second fiddle all fight week. Well, I tell you what, it seemed to really motivate Daniel Dubois. Have you ever experienced something like that, Coach? Where you've had, didn't you experience something like that on Showbox when they were making a big deal out of Tyrone Brunson and his knockout streak when you were with Carson Jones?
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to that. I just focused on focus what we had to do to win the fight. You know what I mean? But you can see this guy, Dubois had more energy, more intensity, more hunger than Joshua in the fight.
Yeah, I tell you what, it sure did look that way. He looked definitely the younger, healthier, spriteful fighter. That was obvious. It was very apparent as early as the first 30 seconds. And look, Michael Shaw, welcome to the show, sir. He said, yep, Coach, Joshua got ruined last night. People should never
Yeah,
question a fighter's heart. Dubois would have beaten a lot of fighters last night. Your thoughts, Coach?
he was a hungry fighter, determined, focused. Now, here's the thing: he's a fucking heavyweight. Heavyweights, they come off a big win, they lose focus, they get what do you call it? Complacent. They get lazy. Now, this is Dubois. If he could keep his focus, get back in the gym, as soon as he can. Keep on, get back in the gym, keep working on his craft, keep the hunger in his heart and in his stomach, then he'll be fine. But if he's going to be like your typical heavyweight, get out of shape, don't train, living the good life, forget all the things, all the sacrifices that you made to get where he's at, and forget about it. That's what money does, Joe. Money gets you complacent. When you got a lot of money, it gets you complacent, gets you lazy. Uh, and then of course, all the fans are going to be patting him on the back. You know what I mean? Building, bulging his ego even bigger. Family members and all that shit, man. The what do you call it? I call it uh the down. The negatives of fame, money, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. It helps, you can lose your focus. Everything what you used to do, everything you did to get you to the top of the mountain, you forget. You get complacent, you get lazy, you don't work as hard. Okay. It's human nature. Now, this Dubois, just like I said about Bacoli, is he gonna lose focus? Is he going to get out of shape? Is he going to gain 50 pounds? You know what I mean? I don't think Dubois, just looking at his body, you know what I mean? I think he likes to train. I think he takes care of his body all the time. You know what I mean? So, but it's the, what do you call it? The distractions of fame that come along with winning that could get you sidetracked. Okay. So he needs to keep everything in, what do you call it? Keep everything in, what do you call it? What's the word? God dang it. Just keep everything and, like he's still got a lot more to do. Okay. Don't be satisfied. Don't be complacent. Okay. On what he accomplished. He's only 27 years old, Joe. He's got to
Yep.
keep that hunger in him, that fire in him and everything. Okay.
So
Keep the focus.
how much of that has to play in how the promoter and manager handles that?
So they need to, of course, it's good to have a good team, family members sit down and talk to him and everything. And hey, keep the focus. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the structure of their team. I don't know who's the influencing individuals on his team. Maybe his coach. Number one, it usually comes from your coach. Okay, because
Well,
I lay the hammer down, man.
I
Okay, we
tell you
got a
what,
great win. Keep everything in perspective. Okay, don't lose focus on what we got to do. We still got a lot, we still got a lot of work to do. We haven't reached the top of the mountain yet. Okay, we got to keep doing the things we need to do to be successful. Keep focused on the process, like I was told the guys. Okay, and between fights, he's got I can't babysit these guys 24 hours 7 days a week. I can't have him in camp with me all the time where I can watch him. So they gotta use the discipline. They gotta show the professionalism to stay focused, to stay in shape, to stay in the gym. Okay, stuff like that, man. It's up to the fighter, man. Okay, and to have that professional work ethic, to have that professional demeanor about how he's going about his career. So, the promoter, I don't even think the promoter needs to talk to him, the manager, but most important is the coach. Yeah, that's the guy that you're in the gym with him all the time, teaching him about making these sacrifices, teaching him about keeping focused on the process and stuff like that. Yeah, you know what I mean? So, and maybe his dad, it looks like his dad he's an influential figure in his life. So, that's, me personally, I get a feeling, man. This kid, he stays true to his craft. I think he gets back in the gym, he trains. You know what I mean? Just looking at his body, you know what I mean? I could see just his demeanor, you know what I mean? But
Yeah, he
money
sure
changes
focus,
you.
coach. Yep,
Money
that is
changes
true.
you.
That is
Fame
true.
change. Fame changes you to the
That is true.
worst. Oscar De La Hoya is a good example, and then many other fighters I could tell you that once they got money, once they got fame, it changed them to the
Adrian
worst.
Broner. Adrian
Adrian
Broner.
Broner. I mean, it's the list goes on, man.
Tale
I
as
could
old
tell
as
you
boxing itself. Yep.
100 fighters through the years I've met. Yeah, money changes you, man.
Yep. Yep. Well, I'll tell you what, let's just hope for the best for both men who dazzled us last night in the main event. What a dramatic, amazing, bone crunching main event. That was beautiful, guys. And that's
Yeah,
why we love the heavyweight division. And that's what we expect to see on a pay per view main event, unlike Canelo versus Berlanga, in which it almost seems like his last three opponents have been complacent and content with merely reaching the finish line, not trying to win. Well, look, maybe not Jaime Munguia, but definitely Jermel Charlo and now Edgar Hamburger Langa. Coach, for $90, should we expect more from someone like Berlanga when this is his first shot at the big dance?
look, man, Joe. These fighters nowadays, man, a lot of them, they're happy to go the distance to get a participation trophy. All right, instead of
Mm,
what happened to the days when the fighters I grew up watching. I was raised with, I saw coming up as a young pup in this business who were hungry, who were determined, who, put it on the line, who, went in there to win, not just survive. And so he could get a pat on the back and get a participation trophy saying, oh, I went the distance. Nah, man, it's the attitude of these fighters. They're different from the fighters in the past. Charlo, that was just a disgusting performance he put on against Canelo. You know what I mean? Berlanga, similar. He went in. He had no will to win. He was in there. He was in survival mode the whole fight. You know what I mean? So
mm-hmm.
yeah, I didn't even watch it, Joe. Well, I did watch it. I watched what do you call it? Clips in here and here and here and here, and I was like, man, this motherfucker don't want to win. That's the first thing I said to myself in the early first two rounds. This guy just came to get a payday. You can see he don't want to win. He's just going in to survive. He's just going in there to make sure he don't get hit with the big shots and get knocked out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The fight. I kept on going back and forth because I was watching football. So, and that fight did not, what do you call it? Yeah, $90. Canelo, he's had a lot of, what do you call it, freebies. Now, me, I don't know. That's me. I heard he did good at the pay-per-view. I don't know about that. What are the pay-per-view, Joe? What'd your people tell you?
Well, they have no way of seeing the DAZN numbers, but from what they see from cable and satellite, as well as the Prime Video numbers, it's most likely estimated between 650 and 750.
Whoa, okay, they did good.
They did very well.
Yeah. Cinco de
And
Mayo Day. Cinco de Mayo
yep,
Day, too. That helps out. Yeah.
yep. Well, it was Mexican Independence. It's not Cinco de Mayo, but
Oh, yeah, Mexican independence. Yeah. So,
yeah, and
yeah.
I tell you what, and it looked like they're talking about the gate numbers, but that meant nothing to Canelo and PBC, from what I was told, Coach. MGM wanted to really stick it to Dana White for trying to keep Canelo away from the MGM. So the MGM actually said, you know what, Canelo, we're going to give you a $25 million guarantee to keep this date with the MGM and the T-Mobile Arena. And we're just going to get the live gate, and we're going to give you a flat 25 million guarantee for your trouble. And so Canelo, he and PBC made 25 million guaranteed.
Well, he did. I don't know what PVC got that money. You know what I mean?
You know what? That's a very good point. You're right.
Pay per view and that, yeah, Canelo did good, man. He probably made 50 million more, 60. I don't know. You know what I
So
mean?
what is the likelihood of him actually taking on someone like David Benavidez or the winner of Bivol Beterbiev on Cinco de Mayo next year? If he's making this kind of money with guys like Edgar Berlanga, where's the incentive, coach?
Yeah, and he can pick and choose who he wants, Canelo. So
Oh
I
boy.
don't mean I have to watch him. You know what I mean? You know.
Well, I'll
Like I
tell you what.
said, Joe, I was going in and out, man. I'm like, man, this motherfucker, this fight ain't. This guy didn't come to win, man. He's just survived. Reminding me of the Charlo fight. So I started going back and forth during the football games, man. Wow, they were
Uh,
more exciting than that fucking fight. So
yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll get back to that, and we'll talk about some other fights on the undercard. We'll also talk about Jaime Munguia in just a bit. Let's keep going though with our dear friends in the chat and answer some of their questions. G Fucking Boxing says, good riddance, Warrington. Yeah, he's a dirty fighter, guys. I don't have any heart for dirty fighters. And Refugio corrects me and he says, yep, Virgil Hunter was indeed in the corner of Joshua Buatsi.
yesterday,
So you were right, coach.
yeah, but he had sugar for one fight, huh?
Yep, he had sugar for one fight, and that was it. I think two
Okay.
fights, maybe.
Oh, Virgil.
Alberto. Yep. Alberto says, salute Joe and coach. Stay safe in Mexico, coach. Honestly, I think it's safer where he is than it is in Denver, Colorado, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Chingao. We're not going to go into that, though, guys. But Big Luke from New York, my brother in Christ, as well as Alberto, my brother in Christ, says, Coach Joseph, good evening to you both. Good evening to you, Luke. And I hope you're doing well, man. God bless. And stay close to Jesus, my friend, and with the season ahead. And Low Clarity says on Friday night in the Boxing Gems Live, Gems and someone on the panel were not counting out Double D at all, and even betting on him. Yep, look, guys, we told you on this channel that Triple D was going to come up big. Everything that I saw, everything that Coach said, told me a month ago. Yeah, I remembered all that. So, simping in the water, whatever the hell that means. Let's go Falcons. Okay. Big Luke says, get that bet in next time. Yeah, well, look, I didn't intend on calling, doing the ring announcing for an amateur show for 7 hours. Chingao. Anthony Manzano also says, Joe and Coach, I think the British friends for boxing are going to turn on Daniel Dubois after the way he beat down AJ, like the Mexican fans did the Golden Boy when he beat down Chavez Sr. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember anyone turning. In fact, Golden Boy became so much more popular after that. Don't you remember, Coach?
Yep. You got
Yep.
to be the man. You got to beat the man.
Yep. That's it. That's it, guys. Look, let's see. One thing. It's Coach says, Anthony Manzano also says, Coach, how hard is it to keep a young fighter focused and teaching them to keep stuff in perspective when they are just getting used to the paychecks and they're getting one, they turn pro? Yeah, I don't know, Coach.
Hard.
Like,
very hard. In this day of social media, very hard.
Oh boy. I tell you what, Sergeant says, boy, this is a lame era. You know, it's hard to argue with that, Coach. Like we just heard Devin Haney, he also turned down a title shot at for the IBF in Australia. Facing Liam Perro, he priced himself out once again. He turned down over $2 million. Coach, do you have any sympathy for an asshole who turns down over $2 million for 2 fights?
Fuck Devin Haney. I don't like, I care less about that motherfucker. Fuck him. Fuck him.
I tell you what, guys, we only have about 10 minutes left with the coach. We're doing a tight 60 tonight. But, Coach, did you see Jaime Munguia on Friday night making his top-ranked debut and struggling a bit with Eric Bazinian? What were your thoughts on Jaime Munguia?
Still poor defense. That's all. Same Jaime Munguia. Still, Still poor defense. He boxed more this fight. He was a little bit more patient, working behind the jab and everything. And the guy he fought was a good little fighter. He was good,
Yeah.
a good boxer, a good counter puncher, a good sneaky right hand. And he caught Mungia a few times with it and everything. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So
Yeah. You know what? I was surprised. I would have thought that he would have went back to his old style of fighting. It would have been a lot more effective, don't you think, against a guy who's really crafty from mid to long range?
he would have got hit more too.
That's true. That is
McGee, he
true.
just doesn't see those punches coming, especially the right hand. He just doesn't have the God given reflexes to see those punches coming and to slip it or to block them, or whatever, or to step back away from them. He just doesn't have the God given. Or like I said, I don't know what they do in training. I don't know what they do in training when they if they work on his defense. Okay, you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. I honestly, it's So where do you see Jaime Munguia going from here? Because he looked like he drew a nice little crowd in Glendale, Arizona. Um, where does he go from here? Is he going to fight Christian and Bealey possibly? Is he going to fight maybe Janabek Ali Manala moving up to 68?
I'd fight Mbili. That would be both fighters are under the same promotional company. Styles make fights. That fight would be a very, very good stylistic uh, on paper. That would be a very, very good matchup. I would go after Mbili. Both guys have flaws. Both guys are good punchers. Both guys lack defense. Yeah. On paper, that's a great fight. Yeah, great, great fight. They should make that fight going forward.
Yep. It sure looks that way. Let's see what's coming up next while we still have you, Coach. Let's see what's coming up on the boxing calendar. I don't think there's anything even decent for the rest of September. Like we've got on October 5th, Nick Ball versus Ronnie Rios, him making his first title defense of the WBA featherweight title. Also, Janabek Ali Manala, he goes down to Australia after Top Rank loses a purse bid and faces Andre Mikhailovich. For Janabek's IBF middleweight title. And let's see. And then we don't have anything really until October 12th, Coach. And that's the big one. In Saudi Arabia on ESPN, Arthur Beterbiev versus Dimitri Bivol for all the marbles at 175 pounds. Coach, your initial thoughts, are you still sticking to Dimitri Bivol winning a unanimous decision victory?
Yeah, I'm going with Bivol. I think both of them are skilled boxers. Beterbiev's vicious puncher, hard puncher. But I just think Bevil's footwork will be the difference. His ability to move in and out of range effectively. His ability to stay out the rope, stay out of the corners. Just his footwork, man. His ability to move in and out of range. That's going to give Bivol a Beterbiev problems and everything. Plus, Beterbiev is coming off knee surgery. You don't know how he's going to be able to move or how he's going to, you know what I mean? How his knee is. Look, Joe, he had a knee injury. He had a what do you call it?
Yeah,
Surgery on it.
Torn meniscus. Yep.
Yeah, you don't know how he's going to be able to come back that soon from it. You know what I mean? Be able to move, be able to change directions, move in and out of ring.
Yeah.
I mean, move in and out of range, move at angles, move in circles. Yeah, and your legs are the most important asset you have in that ring. Okay, everything starts from the bottom up, footwork.
That's a very good point, Coach. And you know what? That is the worst possible opponent to be testing out a newly surgically repaired knee.
That's it. Yep.
Oh boy!
But how old is Beterbiev? 40 years old.
He's 39. He's going to be 39 in January, I think.
Okay, he'll be 40. Yeah, and he's been injured a lot. Gets injured a lot. Yeah,
Yep.
man. You ain't got time to, hey, it's a great payday. You go for it and everything, man. You know what I mean?
In my opinion, that's the only reason why they're taking this fight. I think that's it. I think this is going to be it for Arthur Beterbiev.
Yeah. I mean,
I
like
think
I
you're
said,
absolutely
Joe,
right, Coach. I think you're very insightful here.
we'll see how his knee holds up if he's able to move in and out of range. You know, I mean, if he's able to, cut the ring off against this guy, because if
Yep.
he can't, if his feet, if his legs, his knees bother him, forget about it. Beagle's gonna box circles around him.
Yeah, I think it's going to be, he's going to pitch a virtual shutout, Coach. That's what I think.
Yeah.
And let me get your thoughts here. One last thing, and this really isn't anything serious, but I need to get your thoughts on this. Keyshawn Davis has been he's been talking a lot of trash lately. He's been calling out the big guys at the 135, and he's got a real badass man he's got to take care of on November 8th in Norfolk, Virginia, in Gustavo Lemos from Argentina. Coach, do you
Tough
see an
fight.
upset happening here?
And Keyshawn can handle that heat, okay? A pressure fighter like Lemos that's gonna come at you and he swarms you with a lot of punches from all angles. It's a tough fight, but you know, type of style that makes Keyshawn look good. You come at him and you ain't got no defense, sharp shooter, sharp counter puncher, good body puncher. Yeah. Yeah, Bomac and them guys, they've been doing a real good job of him, with him, and he trains in that high. I'm pretty sure he used to train. I don't know if they're training in Colorado Springs, but
Yep, they're
uh,
training Colorado, sir. Yep.
okay, yeah, he gets that high altitude training, so he'll be in great condition. And you got a guy that's coming forward, tailor made to make Keyshawn Davis look, what do you call it? Awesome, to make him look like a superstar. This guy. Now, if he stops him, oh yeah, he sends a big message to all the 35
Yep.
pounders out there. I want a title shot. Who was it? Gervonta Davis. Who else is a champion? Shakir. Who else? I don't even know. Fucking
Yeah, it's gentleman from the Ukraine. He just won the title.
yeah.
His name alludes Branchik. Ivan Branchik. Yep.
And who else is a champion? I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Tank Davis, Shakur Stevenson, Ivan Branchik, and
the,
Vasil Lomachenko won the IBF, didn't he?
okay.
Or yeah, I think he won it when he fought Kambosos, right?
Okay. So the fight with Lomachenko, but Lomachenko, man, he's only gonna go for the big paydays. If that fight doesn't make sense, he ain't gonna take it. Shakir, I don't know. He's gonna overprice himself. Barenchik would be the guy, yeah, because he ain't
Mm-hmm.
got a fucking pot to piss in. So he'd be the champion. I go after.
And there it is. There it is. And in that co-main event, Coach, and we still haven't gotten your thoughts on this. Brian Norman Jr. is going to be the last piece of business that we take care of tonight. Brian Norman Jr. turns down $1.7 million to face Jerron Boots Ennis in a unification bout to face Derek Cuevas for a fraction of that purse in the co-main event on the same night. Brian Norman Jr. taking on Derek Cuevas after turning down almost $2 million to face Boots Ennis. Your thoughts, sir?
Was he gonna get 100,000 for his next fight? That's
Probably.
that's what
Yep.
that's what probably his contract says.
Yep.
Stupid motherfucker. Okay, him and his team, bunch of dumbasses. Who the fuck turns that kind of money down, man? These stupid motherfuckers. Motherfucker
Yeah.
can't sell one ticket. Nobody knows who the hell he is, and he's turning down a crazy payday like him. Fuck him. Yeah, if he loses, he's gonna have his thumb in his mouth, like, oh God, I made a mistake. I left a lot of money on the table. Now, who's this guy he's fighting? Derek Cuevas. How the fuck is he?
Derek Cuevas. Yeah. Look, you know what I can see happening, Coach? Do you remember what just happened to Oshaki Foster against Robson Conceição for no money?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what's going to happen to Brian Norman Jr.
Well, yeah, he tries to be too smart, him and his team. So, he looked great in this last fight. He had the perfect opponent to make him look good. Okay, but goddamn, man, you're not. What's his chances of getting a payday like that again? The welterweight division sucks. All the big names are gone, man. Crawford's gone. Only one left is Boots Enos. That's the only way you're
Yeah.
going to get a payday like that, man. So,
Oh boy, I tell you what, Coach. Yeah, I said it was the last thing. Here's the very last thing, since we're on Boots Ennis. Boots Ennis, once again, after that Brian Norman Jr. fight fell out, now he's facing Karen Chikatsian as his mandatory challenger, a guy he's already defeated in a terrible fight for little to no money, less than $2 million. Coach, should he ditch the title and move up to 54 where the money is?
where's the fight going to be held at?
Philly.
Well, his promoter won the purse bid.
I guess they agreed on Philly. I guess he's giving Karen Chikatsian a little bit more money, I guess. I don't know, but Bam Rodriguez is slated to be in the co-main event. And so they're fighting in Philly. It was just announced. Yeah, for November.
Fuck. Look, he is more familiar with his style now of Boots. He shouldn't have a problem this time facing him. Okay, so you got to stay, Joe. You got to stay busy. You got to stay active. You know what I mean?
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
And anytime you're fighting in your hometown, that's a positive. So
yeah. You're always trying to build your fan base too. So yeah.
Well, that's it. That's it, guys. And I did want to talk to you about get your thoughts on Mario Vargas versus Abel Ramos. But looks like we can wait. We can wait for that one. That's not
I could give a shit about that fight. How's that?
Yeah. I just wanted to hear you say that, Coach.
Yeah.
Any parting shots for tonight's for tonight's effort, sir?
No, it's just like I said, it's slow in boxing. When football's on, football's king. Boxing takes a back seat, and it's just gonna be rest of the year. It's gonna be bland, except for the Better Be a fight. Now that's gonna be a good one. That's the one. Tune in for that one. And besides that, I don't see any other big fights happening on the horizon.
Not until December. Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk too.
Okay, that fight. Okay. But I'm talking about the United States. There ain't shit going on over here.
No, not shit. It looks like Tank Davis is going to fight Lamont Roach.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Guys, on behalf of the great James Gogue, I'm Joseph Herron. In the immortal words of Casey Kasem, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. Guys, have a great week, everybody.
Holdings proudly presents Warwick Radio with 5-decade fight trainer, Coach James Gogue.